before I come down. Now, Mrs. Adele Sock, past vice principal, my former teacher, who still looks the same as when we first met more than 45 years ago. The hardworking, selfless teachers and staff of St. Joseph's High School or Senior Secondary School, the illustrious and dedicated principal of St. Joseph's Senior Secondary School, my dear Kipi, dear passing out class of 2024 and graduates of the classes of 2023, 2022, and 2021. Distinguished parents, guests, and students of St. Joseph's. The last time that I spoke at a podium in the school grounds were almost exactly 41 years ago, when I had to proffer the vote of thanks as head girl of the school on behalf of my class and the entire school to recognize our principal, teachers, staff, parents, and friends. It is indeed a very long time ago, but it feels like yesterday. However, I still feel the excitement of that moment as I sat here today, for no matter how old one gets, there is still deep inside of you that little girl, that teenage girl or boy. So forgive me for reminiscing a little bit. My dear Father Sohambu as well, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, words cannot express my gratitude at this privilege to speak at this year's passing out class of my dear alma mater, or passing out ceremony of my dear alma mater, St. Joseph's, the school where I spent the beautiful 5 years being nurtured and educated by dedicated teachers who were nuns, lay people, as parents, guardians of the school. When I was thinking of the possible themes for my talk today, the words social media just would not leave my mind. And so today, I'm going to talk about the use of social media. But before I do that, I just want to go back to why I offered to also add an additional $10,000 to what my dear Cecilia has raised for the school today. It's not because we are swimming in money, no. It is to set an example for you ladies to know that it is good to give back. And giving back is not showing off. Giving back is doing the right thing. A lot of us are here educated today because many people gave to this school, gave to the education of girls that they did not know, that they had no connection to. And so we want to show you the example so that when one day you are where we are, you also will look back and give back. Ladies and gentlemen, I joined the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, located in Arusha, Tanzania, in 2005. That tribunal was set up to try people who had committed genocide and very terrible crimes. Genocide means the killing of people, killing a group of people just because they are different, either because of their ethnicity or tribe, their political leaning, or their differences, whatever difference. You decide that you will wipe them out of the face of the earth. And that's what happened in Rwanda in 1994, and a tribunal was set up in Arusha, Tanzania, to try them. And I had the privilege to be part of that trial, to work in the office of the prosecutor as the prosecuting lawyer. Now, this was me coming from the Gambia, where I had grown up in an environment where my neighbors were my cousins. My cousins were Muslims and Christians, a mix of tribes and ethnicities from all over the sub-region. I remember, as a little girl, being a bridesmaid in so many weddings of aunties who were not my blood relatives, but they were the children of the landlady of the compound in which my mother rented a house at the back. I and the landlady's grandchildren grew up as sisters. They were my playmates. We went to school together at St. Joseph's Primary School at Anglesey Street. We went to Brownie together and to evening studies together. I attended Dara with them when their ustaz came over to teach them, and we all went to catechism at the primary school at Anglesey Street. That experience of growing up in an environment where you were related to and interacted so closely with everybody who was around you felt normal, comfortable, and comforting. I felt a sense of belonging. And then here I was, at the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, working as a prosecutor, trying people who committed genocide against their neighbors. People who killed their neighbors, people who took their neighbors' properties, hacked them up in the most gruesome manner with machetes, or what we call here cutlasses. And also learning that in the lead up to that event was years and generations of intolerance of one ethnic group against another. Hateful speech, hateful rhetoric coming from all corners of that country. I remember being awed and very disturbed and putting myself in that place and trying to imagine if that could be possible in the Gambia. That at Lehman Street, where I grew up, from 55 Lehman, someone can come across from Jagan, or next door at 56 Lehman Street, or adjacent at 57 Lehman Street, or anywhere in that neighborhood to kill or order the killing of one of us at 55 Lehman Street, or vice versa. For me, it was almost traumatic, and for almost a year, I was traumatized by the sight of just a machete. And the lesson I take from that was that this cannot be allowed to happen again. It must not happen. We must ensure that that kind of intolerance, in fact, any intolerance, is not tolerated, and thus we do not allow it to fester. Of course, bringing the perpetrators bringing the perpetrators to justice was important, and what actually was the push behind my passion when I was in Arusha, to go that extra mile. I kept thinking of the victims, putting myself in their shoes. I kept thinking to myself that this cannot be right. We must ensure that the victims got justice. Now, let's leave that for a minute and fast forward to now. Sometimes I stumble over some very concerning content on social media. I have some people who see videos on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, other young people like you, and they share it with me. They say, "My lady, have you seen this?" And it is scary. It is concerning to see how venomous young people can be online, bullying each other, abusing each other, saying all sorts of mean and terrible things about each other and to each other. And sometimes the debate can turn into manifestations of intolerance, whether religious intolerance and bigotry, tribal intolerance, intolerance based on looks, intolerance based on ideas, social standing, as well as other forms of intolerance. And the question that addresses my mind is this. Is this what social media was intended for? Is this the best use of social media? Is this what our youth should be engaged in at this point in our development? At this stage in our lives? I do not think so. To my mind, it is a terrible use of a very good tool that is here to benefit of mankind, for the benefit of mankind, for the benefit of especially young people. You have the privilege, the opportunity of this innovation called the internet. You just heard Ms. Balde tell you that when she came to St. Joseph's High School, there was no opportunity to study chemistry. But look at where she has gotten in her life. You have the opportunity of the internet, and we are using it to do what? You have social media, which can be used to do business, showcase talent, do commerce, share ideas, share innovation, and to learn from each other, to copy from each other. A tool to do all this from the comfort of your home and the use of a small gadget called the cell phone. And it is looking as if we are missing that point, and instead of using it for such, it is being used to fight, to show off, to diss each other, and to be intolerant of each other. If this trend should continue, the opportunity might be lost to use this great innovation, this great tool, to propel you to the next level where you need to be. And so I urge you to think twice before making a video insulting your friends, before making a video dissing your friends, before making videos talking about issues you do not understand and saying things you know will negatively impact on somebody else. Use it instead to promote positive ideas. Use it to create a business. Use it to learn. Now, last Sunday, I had the privilege of attending confirmation mass at the Holy Cross Church in Brusubi. As I listened to the prayers being offered by the confirmation candidates, I was pleasantly surprised at the variety of languages in which they prayed. Someone started the Kinywa Rwanda or Kirundi, I'm not sure, but it sounded like that. I heard Igbo, I had French, I had Portuguese or Creole, I had Spanish, and so many other languages that I could not decipher because I was sitting outside. And all this in addition to the usual English Wolof and Seri. I smiled and thought back to my day when we only had English, Wolof, Jola, and Seri. Sometimes a smattering of Apu when people like us were in the congregation. What an international place our little smiling coast has become, providing succor and a home to many. I made a silent prayer for continued peace in our homeland. This is what we are known for. You must jealously safeguard that peace, the tolerance, and the security that attract so many people to call this tiny sliver of land home. And as students of St. Joseph's Senior Secondary School, the only school that was established purposely for the education of girls. Well, there was Methodist Girls High School, as some of us were old enough, not even me, I didn't mean that, but that did not survive. But St. Joseph's is the only school that has survived and is still standing after more than 100 years. Now, as students of this school, you should be an example of what an educated woman is. I was very proud to listen to Ms. Coker talking about how this school, she and her teachers, of course with the help of the board, and all well-wishers and friends of St. Joseph's, take girls with some of the lowest scores at grade 9 and bring them to be students who are ready, who compete at not just at the national level, but at the international level. Thank you very much, Ms. Coker. It's easy to educate the best and the brightest. It is easy to educate the girls who have all the tools, all the privileges, 24-hour electricity, non-stop internet, running water, breakfast, lunch and dinner, clean clothes. But it is not easy to take someone from the poorest backgrounds who struggles with all of this and build them up, put the necessary confidence in them, encourage them, educate them, and make them a success. Bravo, Ms. Coker and your team. Students, you have been given a great opportunity by this great dedicated team at St. Joseph's. You should be an example of what an educated Gambian woman is. Being a graduate of St. Joseph's Senior Secondary School should set you apart. Someone should see or hear you and know that this young lady, your soul, Lajane, she is an alumna of St. Joseph's Senior Secondary School. It should show in the way you comport yourself, in the way you talk, in the way you conduct both public and private life, including on social media. And that brings me to what St. Joseph's is all about. Our patron saint, St. Joseph, was a walker. He is the patron saint of all walkers. So that is what we are known for. We work hard and wisely, and we contribute to development and service to this nation. We are proud to name many leading Gambian women who are products of this school, starting with the very first female establishment secretary, Mrs. Mary Lang, the present Secretary General of this country, Mrs. Salimata Toure, of course our dear Cecilia Balde here, and so many others. Ranging, we are in every profession in this country. We are doctors, we are engineers, we are lawyers, we are judges, we are entrepreneurs. We have been in government, we serve as ministers, permanent secretaries. We are in the United Nations, we are in the Commonwealth Secretariat, we are in ECOWAS, we are everywhere. We are in the United States, we are in Sweden, we are in Germany, we are in Rwanda, we are in Burundi, we are everywhere. And so, the responsibility rests on your shoulders to carry on that legacy. The legacy of nation building, the legacy of service to country, the legacy of holding up the next generation of women, the legacy of protecting women and girls, of ensuring that their rights are protected and provided for, the legacy of standing up for what is right when it comes to women and girls, and not be cowed by populist rhetoric. It is high time that girls are given full opportunity to go to school, explore their full potential, and play their part in development, both in the public and private sectors. You should be able to support each other. You should be able to support other girls. If you see another girl who should be in school but does not have the opportunity to attend, or is denied access to school for whatever reason, see if you can share your knowledge with her. See if you can teach her to read, mentor her, or if possible, support her financially. Do whatever you can to help the girl child. Because we stand on the shoulders of other women of St. Joseph's who laid the foundation for you to be here today, who have done great things in this country and outside of this country. Shout out to Blessed and Marie Javoué and the Sisters of St. Joseph's of Cluny for their foresight in pioneering St. Joseph's High School to specifically educate girls. Shout out to all the principals and teachers, staff of St. Joseph's, who for over a century have toiled to impart knowledge on girls and care for them at this great school. And so, the baton must be passed on. It must not be dropped. You pass it on to the next generation, and to the next generation, for the centuries to come. If St. Joseph's could do it for 1 century, we sure can do it for the next century, and the next, and the next, and the next. We should be here to stay. This brings me to another very important message to the graduating class, or classes now I am meant to be. When the time comes, do not be afraid to take up leadership roles. Experience has shown that when women are given an opportunity, they will run with it. And they do so very well. You have been given a fantastic opportunity at St. Joseph's. The seeds of leadership have been sown in you. Please, let it germinate through the next steps you take in life. Let it grow into a beautiful tree of leadership that will provide shade, the shade that is required by the people you will meet. To lead, to inspire, and to nurture and grow, to build and develop this little paradise of ours. Do not just be happy to be in the background supporting men. I am not saying now that you shouldn't support men. We should support men, just like they also should support us. But we should stand up and be counted. We need to take leadership. In my experience, in any sector that you look at in this country and elsewhere, when women are given the opportunity, they do very, very well. We have the capacity to deliver, to produce good results. We have the capacity to lead. When we lead, the level of productivity is high. The level of detail, attention to detail is greater, and the results are more specific. And I believe that at this stage of our development, our nation's development, we need more of that. We should not just be content with business as usual, with low levels of productivity, just doing things because we have to. We need to be innovative, and innovation requires focus, hunger for growth and development, and not to wait for the government. And I think that all of you young ladies here, as I look across from where I'm standing, whether it is graduates or those who are still at school, you all have it. Therefore, I urge you to take it, run with it, take us to the next level. You are our hope. The next generation can take us to where we need to be. And I urge you to reach out for the mantle of leadership. I congratulate you, graduating class. I wish you luck as you move from secondary school. I hope that as many of you as possible will go into higher education to study various things, but also that those of you who want to will go into other things, not necessarily academics, but business and other trades. I have heard from Ms. Coker all the different skills that have been imparted onto you at this school that prepare you for different options that some of us did not have going to school. If there is certification to be earned, work towards it and get qualified. If you need to do on-the-job training or apprenticeship, focus and hone your skills well. It is a competitive world, and you need to arm yourself with the tools to help you succeed. It will not always be easy, but it will be doable. As one Nigerian comedian said, that people who did it did not have two heads. They had one head just like you, so they are not special. Challenges are not a recipe for giving up, but a clarion call to get up and try again or to try something else. So, whatever it is you choose to do next in life, make up your mind to do it well and not to do it haphazardly, and to believe in yourself that you can contribute your part in the development of this nation. I wish you well, and I thank you for your attention.
One thing we should all know is that in every sector, you must have an alumni of St. Joseph's. So the school is really going places. Therese, you have heard all they have said, so you work on your batch. Now, quickly, we want to launch our school magazine. Please, can you bring the carton for us, lady? We want to launch our school magazine, and we are still going to call up our judge. Thank you so much. This is the school magazine. Lovely, isn't it? You can see the picture of what the principal was talking to you about, their trip to Ghana. We have everything here in the school magazine. So we are still going to call on our judge, our guest speaker, to come up for the launching. We are going to, and we want to encourage people. You can make a pledge. It's just, yes, come, madam, and come and launch it for us. Madam Ture. want two female teachers to come up?
I don't know how they launch, but the reason I'm smiling is that I'm just looking at this group of girls here in front. And it reminds me of the pictures I took with my friends in the school. Right, almost exactly where they are standing. And I can say, I see myself, I see Ibina Seymour, I see Angela Sise, I see Fatuma Joe, I see Fatuma Tawade, director. Actually, I should be telling you who these people are. Okay. I see myself, the very Honorable Justice Veronique Wright. I see Fatuma Joe, who former Minister of Tourism of this country. I see Ms. Fatuma Tawade, Director of Bafro. You all know Bafro Hospital. She was a student of this school. I see Matilda Alice now, who works at one regional organization in Dakar. I forgot the OMVG in Dakar. I see Fidan Rena, who is a banker here. I see Muna Kadroya, who is a doctor in Ireland. I can go on and on. So this is you. We are going to see all of you here and very interesting and very good places in the next. You won't take as long as we do because we've got more. Okay? All right. So, we okay. I understand that I should call on people if they want to pledge, but we want to sell this magazine. Not sell. We want to give it away, but we want you to give us a little bit of money to cover our costs. This is it looks very interesting. It tells us a lot of what is going on in the school, what our very brilliant young ladies have been doing, what they intend to do, and how we can be part of that. And so I will start. I will buy 10 copies, which I will take 10 copies, which I will give to my sharing by class, some of the ladies of the class of 1983. And we will pay for each one of them $500. We'll take 10 copies of $500 each. So you need to collect a check from us for $5,000. Cecilia, would you like to take some for your class as well?
Okay, I do the same. But our WhatsApp group, I think we are more than 30 in that group. But we will pay for each one of them for $200 per magazine. How much is the magazine?
$250.
How much is it?
Minimum of $250.
Minimum.
250. So 250 by 30. The class of 1975. How much is that? How much is that?
250 by 30. Mathematicians. 250 by 30.
7,500.
$15,000.
$15,000. So 30, class of 30.
15,000. So we took a check of 15,000 from her.
Buying 10.
Okay. Now, listen. I'm not saying you guys should be doing that. We just need a minimum of $250 per magazine. Our lady there, what Miss Moka, what is her name again?
Please, you can
The young
pledge.
lady from Just Bank.
500 for 10.
Jennifer, how many are you buying? You'll buy 5 at 250. Okay, good. So 5 from Jennifer at 250. Who else? Father, how many are you buying? You buy one for you and one for Bishop. 2 from Father Jemison, one for him and one for his Bishop. one for her and one for Sister Jean Perez. Our dear treasurer here also would like to. Yes? You will take 5 for? Money? I will take 5 for Education Secretariat. Huh? 5. Catholic Education Secretariat, yes. What's your name, sir? Edward Jiba, Mr. Edward Jiba. Who else? Mrs. Saw, please. Yes, you buy 2 or 5? One for his lordship and one for Mrs. Saw. And some for the girl.
Yes, exactly. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so impressed with today's ceremony and the spearheading the fundraiser. And I'm so proud of you past pupils. You really, really made me proud. So me, I am going to pledge for my 2 daughters that went to this school, their alumni. I am going to pledge for Mrs. Ndur, past principal of the school, and a few other people. So I will make a donation of $5,000 each. So you tell me how many books I will get. It's $5,000 I'm going to give.